call this meeting to order. First up is roll call.
Sarah Jones.
Scott Jensen.
Arlo Bernwald.
Rita Bernhardt.
Monica Allers.
Need one more mic.
Monica Allers.
Okay. Okay. Next item up is approval of minutes from July 10th. Did anybody have any comments on the minutes?
We have a late comer here.
Oh. We will reopen roll call. Go ahead. Say your name.
Marty Marquis reporting for duty.
Thank you very much. Okay, now back to approval of meeting minutes. Did anybody have any comments on the minutes? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make the motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Okay, it's been moved. Is there a second?
Yeah, I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
All those opposed? All right. Now we're on to citizen input. Is there anybody that would like to speak on any item not on the agenda? Okay, seeing none, we will move on to new business. Docket HO 9-25, home occupation, Molly Guy. Molly Guy has requested approval of an application for a type 2 home occupation, HO 9-25, to authorize a psychic services business with up to 6 customers a day within a residence. The home is located at 51631 Columbia River Highway, northwest of the Havlick Drive and Columbia River Highway intersection, on property described as Columbia County Assessor Map number 3213 B00130. This will be a quasi-judicial hearing, which will allow verbal and written comments prior to the deadline. Now the official statement that I have to read. I am calling this public hearing to order to consider an application for a type 2 home occupation permit. The procedure for this hearing will follow a strict format. Testimony and evidence must address the criteria that apply to the decision as described in the staff report, or to the criteria the person testifying believes to apply to the decision. Persons may speak only after being recognized by the chair and must come forward to the microphone and state their name and city for the record. Only testimony that is relevant to the application will be considered. The failure to raise and clarify an issue to afford all parties an opportunity to respond to the issue precludes appeal to the Land Use Board of Appeals based on the issue. Planning Commission will conduct this hearing in a quasi-judicial capacity. In other words, like a trial court where the Planning Commission serves as finders of fact. There shall be no audience demonstration or other conduct which would disrupt the hearing. Does any Planning Commission member wish to declare any ex parte contacts or conflicts of interest regarding this matter? Seeing none, does any party wish to challenge any commissioner's impartiality or legal capacity to participate in this matter? Seeing none, the order of the hearing will be the staff report, then the applicant's presentation, then other proponents, then opponents, then rebuttal by the applicant, then a staff response. Thereafter, the hearing will be closed for consideration of the matter by the commission. The decision of the Planning Commission can be appealed to the City Council. Okay, anybody have any ex parte contacts that they wish to disclose? Okay. Staff presentation.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Good to see you all again. NJ's been, heading up Planning Commission lately, but he's on his honeymoon, so I'll be back soon. So I will be going over the observations in the staff report, and then I will point out the applicable criteria, what pages the findings can be found on, staff recommendation, and conditions of approval. So under subject site, the site consists of a 0.61 acre parcel of land that's currently occupied by 2 single-family dwellings and a shed. The subject site and all surrounding properties are zoned expanded commercial. You may recall that previously this property was approved for a 3-restaurant complex. And that approval did expire. They did not request an extension. It seems that they're looking for potentially a different type of use on those properties. We have made Molly, the applicant, aware of that. However, she still wanted to go ahead and rent this property and have her home occupation there until such time the owner decides that they want to move forward with another plan. So I just wanted to point that out to you. Under requested approval, the applicant is requesting a type 2 home occupation permit that would allow a psychic services business. Folks will apply for a type 2 permit because it does allow for up to 6 clients per day. It also allows for a sign to be displayed outside the home. So both of those items are why Molly requested the type 2 permit as opposed to a type 1. The applicant proposes to locate the psychic reading room in a 247 square foot room in the southeast corner of the house. This amounts to approximately 22% of the home being used for the business purposes, which is allowable for any type of home occupation. We believe that the home occupation is likely to have a negligible impact on nearby properties. The hours of operation would be 8:30 to 7:30, and the applicant expects to just serve 1 client per day. And again, this is surrounded by existing commercial uses, and so this would have very little impact on the surrounding area. Under public and private noticing, all required noticing has been met for this application. The Columbia County Building Department did issue a statement that any new structural, plumbing, mechanical, or electrical work is proposed, then building permits would be required. That is not something the applicant has indicated they wish to do, so it's more of a blanket statement. The police chief and public works director submitted comments that they have no objection to the applications as approved, as submitted. And then the Scappoose Fire District Fire Marshal did submit a comment with certain requirements related to addressing open flame devices, fire extinguishers, and flammable materials. And all of these items have been included in the recommended conditions of approval. And the city did not receive any comments from the public on this application. So the applicable approval criteria are contained in the expanded commercial chapter 17.68. Those findings are on pages 8 and 9. Conditional use is in chapter 17.130. Those findings are on pages 9 and 10. The home occupation criteria contained in chapter 17.142. Those findings are on pages 10 through 13. The quasi-judicial decision-making chapter is contained in 17.126, and those findings are on pages 13 and 14. The recommendation is on page 14 of the staff report. Based on the findings of facts and the materials submitted by the applicant, staff recommends that the Planning Commission approve HO 9-25 subject to these 6 conditions of approval. Again, this kind of comes just straight out of the code in terms of the conditions that are listed here. And then also there are the comments that we received from agency partners that are also reflected here. Again, this is home occupation permits are pretty straightforward. They shouldn't have any sort of real big impact to the neighborhoods that they're in. In this case, it's in a commercial area, so it really shouldn't, should be negligible. That concludes my staff report, unless you have any questions of staff before we get to the applicant.
All right, I'm not seeing any questions for staff, so would the applicant like to make their presentation?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
I think that Lori pretty much covered everything. If anybody has any additional questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Are there any questions for the applicant? Okay, thank you for that informative and in-depth presentation. Any proponents that wish to speak on this matter? Any opponents? I'm going to presume no rebuttal is necessary, being that nobody said anything. I'm also assuming no staff response. Planning Commission doesn't have any questions. We already covered that. So I'm going to close the hearing for deliberations, and then we will vote on the matter. So, thoughts? Okay. Yeah, it looks very straightforward to me. Yeah, I don't think there's much to comment on, really. If there's no other comments, I would entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make the motion to approve as presented.
All right. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed? Okay. That is that one. Next up is item 5.2. Molly, you don't have to stay with us for the exciting rest of the meeting if you don't wish to,
I let her know.
but thank you for being here. 5.2, rename a portion of Southwest Voldendam Street to Southwest Roken Way. The city of Scappoose is proposing to rename a portion of Southwest Volden Street to Southwest Roken Way. The portion of Southwest Volden Street proposed to be renamed is south of the Southwest Callahan Road within the recently platted subdivision of Dutch Canyon Estates 4. The Scappoose Fire District requested the street renaming. At this meeting, the Planning Commission will make a recommendation to City Council on the matter.
Right. So let's see, little background on this, and honestly, I don't even know how to pronounce that either. I would say Volendam, maybe, not sure. So within the city of Scappoose, the Scappoose Fire District approves any new street names, well, any street names, and then they also set the addressing for the city. So once the city receives a final plat for review, the fire district will sign off on those street names, and then the city looks at, lot sizes and looks at everything else to make sure it's in conformance with the preliminary plat. In this case, there was a misunderstanding in terms of the fire district thought the entire leg of the road, because this is on page 29 of the packet, you can see a depiction of what we're talking about, but this kind of has a dog leg, and it's we call it an eyebrow cul-de-sac street. So the north-south was Volendam Street, because further to the north in Dutch Canyon Phase 3, there is a Volendam Street, and eventually someday that would extend down through. But we don't know when that's going to be, and the fire district felt that since there's only 2 houses that would be addressed off of that section of this Dogleg Street, that they felt it would be way too confusing for emergency responders or delivery companies. And it was a miss. They didn't catch that the street name changed kind of halfway through. And so we just want to get this cleaned up before they have final occupancy for those 2 homes. One of the 2 is under construction now. So again, the fire district requested the street name change. There is a legal process we have to go through to do that. It's set out in the ORSs, and it's also set out in our Scappoose Municipal Code, Chapter 12.24. So we do have the findings for approval that are covered on pages 25 through 27. Again, that's SMC 12.24.020. And you will see the findings there in the staff report. The staff did notify the owner developer of Dutch Canyon Estates Phase 4, Lennar, of this street renaming request and the associated timeline for approval by email on June 23rd, 2025. Lennar responded that this worked for their timeline since the street renaming process would be done before those 2 homes receive final occupancy approval. This obviously makes it a lot easier when they are actually trying to transact on the property. We wouldn't want that changing afterwards. Staff received no written comments from the public as of, well, at all. And so based on the findings outlined above, staff recommends that the Planning Commission recommend to City Council that this portion of Southwest Volendam Street be renamed to Southwest Roken Way so that the entire street is Southwest Roken Way, to lessen any confusion in the future. Once this recommendation is made, then City Council will be holding a public hearing on this August 4th. And then they'll have a first reading August 4th and a second reading August 18th. And then ordinances become effective 30 days later.
Where did the name Roken come from?
So that was a name that Lennar asked for approval from the fire district from. They did approve Roken Way. However, as I stated before, there was a misunderstanding that it did not carry north on that leg of the street.
So just to be clear, from renaming a street after somebody, this is a developer street name, not like the other street renaming that created
that's
policy for.
That's correct.
Okay.
It's not after a person's name. They were trying to stay with the Dutch theme, and apparently this somehow is.
Okay.
I didn't look it up. All I know is the fire district approved it.
Yeah, well, this is the sort of thing that if they say that's going to be confusing, we don't want that
That's right.
confused. So,
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
It's interesting that there is a Volendam Street north of that empty lot, though. So can we presume this is going to be renamed back once that throughway is constructed?
No, he didn't. Yeah, that's a good point, Marty, and a good question and observation. But because, okay, so let me say this. Had there been more homes that were going to be addressed off of that, this might not be coming to you. But because there were only going to be 2 homes within this portion of the subdivision and no future extension directly south of this with that name, he felt it was just way too confusing. So regardless of if that street does connect through and is directly north of this portion of the road, he still didn't think just for 2 homes it made sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think it's spelled slightly different, but Roken in Dutch means smoking.
Oh,
is-
interesting. Thank you for looking at that. Huh. Interesting.
Okay. Any other comments or questions on this? Yeah. It makes sense to me. Again, very well laid out in the staff report. I would entertain a motion to recommend to City Council.
Yeah, I'll motion to recommend to City Council that we approve this matter as presented.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay. Recommendation is so made. And now we are on to calendar check. That's,
What about the team agreement here?
oh, I'm sorry. I did skip over that.
Good one. I didn't even.
Yes.
That skipped right
Team
by.
agreement. Has everybody had a chance to read the team agreement?
Yes.
Did anybody have any questions or concerns regarding that?
No.
Okay. Then I guess that we will adopt this, and then we have a master that, I guess, if those of you online could swing by the CDC office so you can sign that one, that would be great.
Will do.
So you probably should have a motion to
Yeah.
adopt this.
I'll make the motion to adopt this team agreement.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right. Now we can get onto that calendar I wanted to check. Okay. Scappoose Farmers Market this Saturday. Yeah. Okay, that was quick. We only have a July calendar.
We have August.
August is on the back.
Oh,
Oh.
just so you know, I don't. I've got one. It's okay. August 2nd, Saturday, Scappoose Farmers Market. Monday, August 4th, City Council at 7. The 9th, Scappoose Farmers Market. The 16th, the Scappoose Farmers Market. August 18th, City Council meeting. Thursday, August 21st, Economic Development Committee at noon. Saturday, the 23rd, Farmers Market. Thursday, the 28th, Planning Commission at 7. Is that a go?
It's a kind of more of a placeholder
Okay.
at any point. If we had gotten an application resubmitted this week, it was, possibly going to make it, but I don't think we'll need it.
Okay. Then followed by the farmer's market on the 30th. And there we go. Commissioner comments. Thanks everyone for being here. Thanks staff for making it easy.
You're welcome.
Any,
Finished?
Hmm?
Are we finished?
very nearly.
I just have a question. Has anybody been to the farmer's market? I haven't been there this year, so I was just wondering how it's going.
It was
Mhm.
busy.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
It wasn't as big. Last year was a lot bigger.
Oh, wow.
They had used this parking lot here.
Mhm.
There were a lot more vendors
Oh, really?
last year.
Mm.
The fair apparently had some difficulty too with, having vendors and stuff. And they also, I went out Sunday thinking that going to go to the fair on Sunday. They don't have it on Sundays anymore.
Oh,
Oh,
They canceled.
Hmm.
Things.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of strange.
Hmm.
But they were having problems with the vendors. They just didn't have enough.
Yeah.
So they said also that attendance was down. So I'm just kind of wondering if how this market, of course, it's a different.
talking to your mind.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Anyway, I was just kind of wondering about if, people were, going to a lot of things or not much, or, what the mood was, I guess.
Mm.
So, but apparently the fair didn't do as well this year. I haven't heard final numbers or anything like that, but there was some issues there, I guess. So. Different year, I guess.
Mhm. Any staff comments?
Just real quick. So last night we held the landowner informational meeting on the 50-year plan. So we invited any property owners who were being considered for the UGB expansion or establishment of urban reserves, and then a 300-foot buffer beyond those properties, just so that just wanted to invite them in and let them know about the project and let them know, what it means if you're in the UGB, what it means if you're in the urban reserves. And so it was surprisingly well attended. I didn't know what to expect. We sent out over 200 invitations. This room was full. Kind of used every chair we had, including the ones in the boxes back there.
Wow.
We had just enough. So it went really well. We had Beth with Echo Northwest present a little slideshow and kind of walk everyone through lots of good questions. So it went really well. Hoping by doing that the adoption process goes smoothly. We will take the feedback we received from the last stakeholder advisory committee meeting and then this landowner meeting to the work session we have with you all, Planning Commission and City Council on August 18th, which I don't know if that showed up on the calendar, but mark your calendars, August 18th, there's a work session with council, 6 p.m.
Yeah, it doesn't say it on here.
Yep, 6 p.m. And so we'll just bring all the feedback that we've heard back to them. And the intent is to get really clear on where they're directing and wanting staff to go to finish up the analysis for the UGB areas and the urban reserve areas. All told, once we did our land use efficiency measures, we're looking at a 43-acre UGB expansion just for housing, and then a 314-acre urban reserves, which would serve up to the 50-year land need for housing, employment, and then other land needs, public. And so we're getting close to the end of this 3-year-long project. We're looking at, depending on the feedback from council, if we get clear direction, it's likely that working around just conference schedules this fall and a couple staff vacations, that it would be adoption hearings starting in December. So, and then it'll go Planning Commission, make a recommendation to City Council. Once it's adopted locally, the next step is work sessions with Columbia County, and then their Planning Commission will make a recommendation to the Board of Commissioners. So we're getting close, getting very close.
That's great to hear, Lori. I'm curious, so is that the point when it goes to the county? Is that the point when these landowners who are not currently citizens of the Scappoose have a chance to weigh in?
They'll have a chance to weigh in from the very get-go. So when it comes to the Planning Commission for consideration, that's a public process. So at any point in any of those hearings, they can voice their opinion. And they wouldn't, even if they're identified for urban growth boundary, they wouldn't be Scappoose citizens until they annexed into city limits. But yeah, absolutely, they have a opportunity to, they have standing to submit any type of public comment they want.
Yeah, I'm just total curiosity, but
Mhm.
it's like it's up to the city council um to make this recommendation, and then the county is the one who actually approves the UGB. Is that how it works?
Nope, it's two approvals. So it's a local approval first, with the city of Scappoose, and it's an approval at this level. And then once it's approved locally, then it goes to the county for their approval as well, because it's also altering their comprehensive plan map. Because now it would be showing, properties on their map as urban reserves, and other properties would be shown as UGB on their maps. So it's, yeah, it's amending our maps and their maps. Now, we have had, the county planner, Deborah Jacob, has been involved in the stakeholder advisory committee meetings throughout this whole process. So they are well aware of what's coming, what's going on. And she actually attended the meeting last night, which was helpful because she was able to answer some questions about permitting on the county side, as well, which was good to have her there. So I'm
Well, thank
hoping,
you.
yeah,
Just for transparency, Beth is, I work for Echo Northwest these days, so Beth's one
yes,
of my supervisors, and I'm just still trying to learn how all this stuff plays out politically, because
yeah.
obviously these landowners outside the UGB are not voting for city council. So I was just trying to figure out like
Oh,
how.
interesting. Yes, yes, I see. That is a, yeah. Yeah, no, that is an interesting component, right? This is, yeah, outside of their jurisdiction. Um, I will say, I mean, the concerns I heard was, does this change our tax rate? And the answer is no. Even if you're in the UGB, it does not change your tax rate. Your tax rate doesn't change unless you annex into city limits, and that is voluntary. What it does is it provides you with future opportunities, like especially if you're identified for the UGB. It doesn't mean you have to develop, it just means that you have the ability, number one, to annex in once you're abutting city limits, number two, to have city services. So typically we see people annex into the city limits because they want to develop at urban densities, right? They want to like subdivide and make some money off that land. Or, and this is more common, they want to annex in because they need sewer, or they need public sewer, or they need, water. And you can't connect to city services if you're not in city limits. So that's mostly the annexations that we see, unless they're large tracts of land and they're developing. So those were the concerns. And hopefully we get clarity on the 18th and we get this moving along. It's been going on a long time. It'd be great to get it wrapped up. So getting closer. But thank you all for being here. Appreciate your service. And yeah, great to see you again. That's all I have.
All right, then I think we are adjourned. This may be a new record.